Relaxation 101. Please take a seat and relax and enjoy this tale. Brought to you by M&S. Free with the sun. Thank you. I want you to imagine a lake with a boat right in the center. Imagine you're
in her relationship.
Looking up at the sky, looking up at the birds passing by. Imagine that you're one of those birds soaring over the Himalayas. And you look down and you see a man, and he's sewing. He's sewing and he's happy and he's thinking of nothing but the surroundings about him and what he's doing, and his activity at the time. You are that man when you're in your boat.
Let me tell you why you should never.
No.
How are you?
That
Yeast infection. I prefer to use my back door all times of the month.
back door.
Ask him how his day was, and he said,
No.
What I'm really trying to say here is, would you prefer to
No.
Have you ever been in a relationship that
No.
Have you ever been in a situation where you can't decide between
No.
did you know a man would rather feel alone and unloved?
No.
Hello. Can you hear me now? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Nickstream. I hope you guys got a little taste of what's to come, or at least the ladies. I hope you ladies got a little taste of what's coming with those couple videos, okay? Hope you ladies, all right, are getting the vibe about what's coming, all right? So from now on, the response to any dumb woman thing is no, and then we ball out. So welcome. It is Friday again, and we're here for the Nickstream, and I'm grateful that you're all joining. I see you all coming in as we get it rolling here. What's up, Jussie, Smollett's Noose, Ivana Spencer, but I think you knew. Justin, Southern Stoic, Dan Clifton, what's up, everybody? Jacob, Lady Cecil, some old, some new. Thank you so much for joining to another, Nick at Night edition of the Nickstream, huh? We really only have Nick at Night editions for now, but we're having a good time, no? How's everybody's Friday so far? Welcome, welcome. I see you guys all rolling in. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to do, a lot to get into, but it's definitely going to be a fun one because it's going to be loose, real loose. I have sort of a show for all of you. You know, sometimes I have an actual show. Sometimes it's just us having a good time, right? So welcome yet again to the Nickstream. I want to say hello to all the Nickers and Nickerettes out there. Some new Nickerettes, some new Nickers in the chat. I see all of you. Hey, what's up, Butthead? Fresh Prince, what's up? Yes, so anybody just joined, we were playing a little footage of what's to come for the ladies. All right, if you missed it, hold on. Watch this.
Alone and unloved.
No.
I want to know the number one reason why your man does.
No.
When you could be with 50-year-old men.
No, you can't.
So, shout out to our boy here on TikTok, Jam1R Music. Pretty much just found his content today and it was cracking me up. That's basically his whole channel. It's just him reacting to videos of these ladies and just saying no. So that's what's coming, all right? That's what we say from now on. We just say no and we ball out. You feel me? What's up, Hondo, Lord Luka, Jab? I don't think I can even say the rest of your name. But yeah, it's been a wild week, no? It's been a very, very interesting week. Like, what a week, huh? Abortion. Bye. BTFO'd, ladies. No more abortion. Supreme Court leak. Sex strike. The ladies are going on a sex strike. What are we going to do? Elections. And U.S. claiming responsibility for some pretty wild stuff as well. We got plenty to get into and some fun stuff after we do the serious stuff, right? I like to pretend and be a little serious at the beginning and do like real important topics. But yeah, thanks for allowing me to kick off your Friday vibes tonight. I think James is going right now too. He's doing the kill stream, so if you guys got a little extra bandwidth there, pop open the tab. Show the man some love. I think he's on. You know what? I don't even have the link or anything. So I'm being a horrible friend to the Hake Report. But I think you could just go to killstream.live and see James. Anyways, go on his website, thehakereport.com. But anyways, yes, Friday, Nickstream. Here we all are. I see a lot of you have already joined. No abortion for lesbians, says the boy. No abortion at all. How about that? So, let me get going here and get started. You got some volume on the mic. Oh, are you saying the volume's good, Repro Beta? Mindset, good to see you in the chat, man. Let me know. What's up, Sion? Let me know, because I think I got that working. Hey, Noah's Arkansas with the link in the chat if you guys want to check out Hake. So, like I said, plenty to get into. Plenty to get into, so might as well jump right in. But before I do that, I got to make sure that everything's rolling correctly. And it looks like it is. So thank you. Abortion always brings the ugliest chicks out for a little activism. Huh. A little interesting comment, but we'll get into that. So the ladies are on a sex strike, no? Whatever will we do? Whatever will we do? That's the first thing they went to. Think about this. The abortion thing, it's like, oh, we're finally dealing with the abortion thing. And the first thing the ladies do, that's their go-to move, is sex. As if what Jesse's been saying for years now, I guess, about women controlling men through sex. And here they are doing it. I've even talked to this one lady on my program here not too long ago, and I talked about how women control men with sex, and she's like, no. But yeah, it is very true. I mean, look at you. You even saw probably on the JLP show, if any of you watched Jesse Lee Peterson's the Jesse Lee Peterson show this morning. I am part of his network. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Bond. But you may have seen it on the JLP show where we played a clip in the beginning about, it was Joy Behar, right, on The View, talking about sex strike. We got to withhold sex, and she's talking about withholding sex so that get the men in line, get them to go along with the Roe v. Wade thing. And she mentioned, now that I'm remembering the clip on the JLP show, she mentioned, what did she mention? She mentions like 2 different countries where the women basically did a sex strike. She didn't go into detail. And the women went into they did like a sex strike or whatever. And the two countries, they I guess they had an unstable, let me see if you can find the clip actually, because I have it here. But they had like an unstable government, I imagine, or how she described it. And then after the sex strike, they had a stable government within a week. That's not really something you want to be proud of. I mean, imagine you're the men of that country. I think she mentioned, what is it? Liberia. Well, I'll pull up the clip and you guys will watch it in a moment here. But that's not something to be proud of. It's not a good thing. If the women of your country can do that to the men, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. And we'll get into that. Why and all that. I found it. Okay, so I found the clip that we played. Might as well, why not, show y'all. Check this out.
Women in the world have conducted sex strikes in history. In 2003, a sex strike helped to end Liberia's brutal civil war. Yes, and the woman who started it was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In 2009, Kenyan women enforced a sex ban until political infighting ceased. Within 1 week, there was a stable government. Okay.
Wow. Liberia and Kenya, those are the 2 countries. I mean, I don't think they're really model. I don't know if they're really model countries. Liberia and Kenya. What do I know about them? Isn't Liberia that one country where they sent like the blacks or black slaves so they could be free in their own country or something like that? Or is that Estonia? It might be Liberia. Anyways, not really model countries. Not really, you know what I mean? Are y'all following me here? Not really model countries. So you shouldn't be proud of that. Anyways, isn't that kind of awesome though? The women accidentally going straight all the way based, all the way trad. No more sex. They're protecting their value. If I may borrow one of the late Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. What is it? His terms or whatever. What would he say? He'd say men create their value, women protect their value, or something like that. So yeah, and what was I saying about? Oh yeah, I was saying how the women, that's their go-to, sex control. Listen to the insults, right? They go straight to incel. You're an incel. You get no pee. James is a influence on me. Try not to cuss. I don't go around cussing that. I really don't go around cussing in that much in like regular life. I know how to not, but James is a good influence. But yeah, they always saying you get no pee, you're an incel. That's their move, right? They go straight to sex. And this all all of this to say what? That women don't really have power. They don't. The power they have is false, and it's why us men, we gotta get it right. We gotta get it right, because the women reacting like this, we should be saying, "Great, right on, ladies. You're right. No sex. I completely agree with the terms here. Let's keep going." But I can see how, I've seen it myself, even on Twitter and stuff. There's men that simp. There's men that they want to. They want to. Sorry, I'm reading chat here. What do they want? The men, they want the sex. They want the sex. They want their cake, and they want to eat it too, right? They want the women to be everything and also have sex with them. So we got to be right, because then this little ploy, this little sex strike won't really mean anything. Okay, steady dropping them. Yeah, you're gone. I don't care who you are. Normally, I don't care about disagreements, but that's just straight disgusting. Mods, deal with that, please. Let's see here. I see a lot of RIP Kevin Samuels in the chat. We'll get to him actually later. I do have something to say about that. Where was I? Yes, women. Accidentally based. Awesome. Great stuff. So don't let this, we can't let their ploys with the sex work on us. We got to be right all the way. Yes, boys, that means no sex before marriage. All the way, man. It's quite important. But yeah, it's been an awesome week, no? I mean, they're really going to get rid of the whole, the whole Roe v. Wade thing, which is wrong in the first place, right? I'm sure all of you heard a lot of this already, but some of you may not know that there's just no constitutional basis for Roe v. Wade. That's really what the whole thing was, right? Supreme Court decision, basically, to distill it. They took away the power for the states to ban or whatever, to legislate on abortion. They took away the states, their powers to do that, which is, evil, right? It's against the Constitution, and you may have heard this before, but it's all legislation from the bench, right? Legislating law from the Supreme Court, where that's not where law's supposed to come from. It's a little bit of rule sticklerism or whatever, but I think we need that back more than ever. You've seen what happened this week with the Supreme Court leak. Pretty egregious stuff. What we're seeing now is the honor is gone. That's just gone. There's the idea of honoring an agreement, a promise, a rule. That's pretty much gone, and on both sides of the aisle, pretty much across the board. And we'll get into a couple of examples of that, but it really is a shame, because I'm seeing mobs form pretty much on both sides, and just, it's just like mobs. No real honor. And so you're seeing this with, for example, mobs going to, take this in. This is stupid, and you may have seen this headline, but it was kind of striking. Even though we get desensitized with these headlines and we see all this stuff, it's easy to get desensitized, but it's kind of interesting to see crowds of people going to the courthouse or whatever in LA to protest this. I mean, that's just not, there's no logic to that. That's not the Supreme Court, right? Just a simple stuff, like simple basic things. It's like, well, that's not the Supreme Court. You're kind of taking the fight to the wrong place, but that doesn't matter. The general population doesn't really know how the country works. They don't really know anything. It does the real meanings of a lot of these things. What is an American? What is the government? What are the powers of the government? That stuff that doesn't matter anymore, but it should. Because I even said this too, I think earlier this week on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, when we spoke about the leak pretty much right at the beginning of the week. And I was saying that we're really not that far from just total chaos. There's only a couple of layers from us and bedlam, entropy, chaos. And that's just basically a couple of rules, you know, a police force here, sanitation system there. Get rid of those. It's pretty much over. Like, just done. That's it. We're talking, you know, millions dead. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but we're talking about a pretty big breakdown of society. And that includes these, you know, enumerated rights. It's almost like, it's almost sad that is like a milk toast, like Republican take or whatever. Oh, rhinos ruined the Constitution. Are you following me? Like, that should be a document is venerated the right word? You know, it's venerated and at least put, you know, given some more importance. But now it's just a normie conservative take. The Constitution. But it's the bulwark against chaos, if you will. It really is not that many. So what? We got the police, sanitation, you know, some government stuff delineated in the Constitution, and people putting their shopping carts back in the car corral. That's it. That's all we got between us and bedlam, millions dead. That's it. Okay. Yeah, midterms coming up, Lendy. Definitely wilding up the crowd. We'll get into the election stuff too. But anyways, it's a Handmaid's Tale. Let's go, everybody. Let's get some cheers going. Let's get some what's a good Handmaid's Tale emoji? You guys seen this? This is a dumb meme. Just dumb memes from the left saying, "Oh, they want this," and it's like an image of the Handmaid's Tale. Anyone know what that is? It's that movie. It's like a series based on this book by this dumb Canadian woman, Margaret Atwood. I'm typing in Canadian in Google. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Handmaid's Tale. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Margaret Atwood, her book, they made like a series of it, and it's basically a bunch of women it's fiction, and in this world, women are forced. They're forced. It's a futuristic dystopian novel where these women, they're subjugated in a patriarchal society where the loss of female agency and individuality suppresses women's reproductive rights. Anyways, all these women in this novel and series are basically forced. They're forced by the state and by the patriarchy to have families. How horrible. How horrific. So we're back. We're going to get all you ladies in red. We're going to put these oppressive looking hats on you. Get ready. You're going to love it. I refused to work on that show when it was here in Toronto. Lin Yin Chin, huh? That's interesting. I didn't know you worked in entertainment. Pretty cool. Anyways, where was I? It's Handmaid's Tale. We're coming back. Just awesome stuff. Anything else on this? What else? Reddit. Look at this. Change your Tinder bio to deactivated because Roe v. Wade was overturned. No sex without human rights. Go on, ladies. Go off, ladies. Keep going. Go off, queen. Okay, what else on this? Hold on. But what else? What else do we got here? There's interesting stuff going on about all this. In fact, I saw this one clip, and you'll have to forgive me. Like I said, loosey-goosey show. We're gonna maybe do a little. I tried to avoid this, but we might have to do a little Googling on the air to figure out who these people are. But basically, I saw this clip, and it looks to me like these are what? These are liberals, but they're against abortion. Like these are Democrats. These are like anti-abortion Democrats or anti-abortion liberals. Swearing, by the way. So heads up. I don't bleep. Not really.
They were told that their children were just clumps of cells, and then they read an embryology textbook and they realize how much they were lied to, and then they grieve their dead children and have PTSD meltdowns because no one told them their children were their children. We all deserve better than abortion. This is why I'm here today, not just for the children, but also for their mothers. Abortion is fascism. Abortion is patriarchal oppression. Abortion harms all. Absolutely.
Within a 5-mile radius of where we're standing right now, there's three abortion facilities that offers elective abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. One, on Georgia Avenue, a nurse practitioner is trying to do abortions, elective 9-month abortions. There's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit going on right now. This is the face of abortion extremism. The face of abortion extremism is the 5 late-term elective abortions we found in the medical waste. We held those late-term aborted fetuses, those babies. And that's the face of abortion extremism. That's
anyways, she's going on and on about this other topic about these 5 aborted fetuses, which you may have heard of. I heard myself, but I just don't know too much about it. Anyways, loosey-goosey means Nick didn't do his homework this week. Maybe somewhat true. But on the important stuff, I got that. Okay? Don't worry. But, yeah, kind of confusing, no? She was like, patriarchy, abortion is a patriarchy. Abortion is abortion extremism. A little confusing, right? But don't worry. Let me clear this up. Now, there's this whole thing where abortion has become a women's rights thing. On both sides of the aisle, the women's right, the left, or left, right. We all know that dichotomy is false, but you got everybody. But that's what abortion is. It's a woman's rights thing. So you even have conservatives and rhinos and all that. When they get into the thick of it, into the abortion argument stuff, their response to the liberals and the Democrats is, we were the ones that care for women, not you guys. We're the real feminists. And they'll do stuff like this. They'll at least support stuff like this. Oh yeah, this abortion is, well, I don't know if they'll go as far as calling it the patriarchy, but are you following me here? It's the same, the same spirit, if you will. And so that's what conservatives do. They make it a women's rights thing. But abortion literally has nothing to do with women, except that it the theater is their womb, if you will. The womb theater. You got the Pacific theater, the European theater. Anyways. So yes, women has nothing to do with women. So we don't have to become feminists when we don't want abortion in this country, in this Christian country. So yeah, we don't have to become feminists. So a little interesting, right? You got these, liberal feminists calling abortion the patriarchy. That's what you hear too. I've heard similar arguments. These conservative, so-called conservative trad women, they'll be like, oh, abortion is for these men who just want to have casual sex and impregnate their mistresses and so they can get rid of the evidence, right? Yeah, I don't know. I considering just how evil women can be in a relationship, and in marriages and all that, I don't think it's that one-sided. I don't have the numbers, but I doubt it. So yeah, interesting stuff there. We don't have to be feminists, but these liberals, let me see. They're attacking each other. Little shout out to the JLP show. Hateful people, evil people, they turn on each other eventually. This is from Andy No. I got this little clip from Andy No. He's talking about how these pro-abortion protests in Seattle, where basically these activists turn on each other. They begin attacking people on their own side. Seems to be like some kind of confusion going on. They even grab like a sign from a fellow protester and basically smash her on the head. Just a little shout out to JLP because he's right about hate. These are people on their own side. This dude, this guy in the vest is like, please. I mean, I'm your friend. Swearing, by the way. They're all in the same side. These people are all on the same side. He's a human being. He has every right to lay her out right now. Like, lay both of them out. Anyways, this goes on for a bit. Should he have laid him out? Press 1 if he should have laid them out. Yeah, what else here? Just had to play that. It struck me because of what Jesse says. He's right. Hateful people turn on each other. So yeah, that's interesting stuff going on with all that. So ladies, yeah, men get to tell you what to do with your bodies, by the way. Men are supposed to tell you what to do with your bodies. Okay, so you don't know what to do with your bodies. If we left you to your own devices, you'd ruin your bodies. So, moving on here. Let me say this, actually, because a thought I had, just to basically, I guess end this topic here as we move on. There is, the whole abortion thing, they're saying, what? They're saying it's about, they say it's about all this stuff, about women, it's about healthcare, it's about what? Other words you could think of, autonomy, body autonomy, economics, or all these things. They're trying to make the abortion thing about all these things, but it really is, in reality, it really is only, it's actually, if I think you could distill it all to actually what it really is about, at least for the ladies. And it is a hatred of men. I think you can distill the whole thing to that. It has nothing to do with any of what I just said about economics, about female, about women's rights. It's not even about human rights. It's not about anything except for maybe the babe, the unborn child's rights, if you will. It's about hatred of men. I'm pretty sure you could distill it to just that. It's simply, you follow me here? It's just a hatred of men. And the way it's manifested is, okay, can we take control? We want to do whatever we want. We want to be the man in society and relationships and everything. It's all a reverse, if you will, of the order and all that. It's a hatred of men. I think you can distill it to that. All the other stuff is a distraction. You following me? I guess hake is done. I just saw him leave. You following me? You're following me here? It's a man hate thing. It's all it is. How can I hurt the man that I'm with by killing his baby? How can I control the man that I'm with and even men that I'm not with by killing the man's baby? How can I, be a terrorist on society and force states and force people, Christians, to go along with your cult by way of Supreme Court legislation? You follow me? How do we hurt the men? How do we control and hurt the men? Well, what's a deeper, I guess, representation of that power, false power, right? But of this exerting power over society and men than to have complete control over who lives and who dies. So, I just wanted to say that everything else is a distraction. So, ladies, like I said, we're going back. No more of this. Once we're in full power, we're deleting all your social media accounts. We're putting you in the homes. and subduing and dominating. To subdue and dominate. Let's go. So big things coming. Big things coming. What else can I say about this? Pretty much it. At the what's the word? At the fear or whatever of repeating myself or repeating what's already been said. Alito, you know, Samuel Alito, the Supreme Court Justice, the draft opinion that was leaked. In it, he basically describes how Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional. Pretty much opens up the way to challenge gay marriage and all that, which is a misnomer. Ain't no marriage if it's gay. Anyways, so I don't repeat things that have been said and all that. I'm going to move on. But it's been a very interesting week. More to come. It's interesting in many ways. It's like positive, but also very dark. You know, the whole honor thing I was talking about. No honor. Mobs showing up to places where they shouldn't be, asking for things that you can't just yell about. There's a way of doing things. And I know a lot of people in the chat probably don't even believe in the way of doing things, voting, elections, and proper channels of, you know, affecting change in the country, governance. A lot of you probably have lost hope and all that. And I don't blame you. But I mean, I'll get into it a little bit here. I was going to get into it later, but there was a lot of elections going on, right? Recently, Ohio, J.D. Vance. Some of you say he's a rhino. He very well might be. I wouldn't put it past him. But some Trump candidates winning in the country, midterms coming up, a lot of people getting ready and hoping and expecting a big red wave and all that. You know what I just thought about? If you'll allow me. If I was like a serious government, if I was the Biden administration or just a serious government of any serious country, and we have the issue that America's having right now where huge swaths of the country just don't believe in elections. They're saying the last one was not on the up and up, if you will. So if I was a serious government, I would focus on having like the most open election of all time. Like that would be my main. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to deal with. Yeah, sure. The country, we got a lot of things to deal with in the country and whatever. Fine. We'll get to those. But for right now, let's deal with having the most open elections ever. I don't know how that would look like, but it would be, I'd imagine, even difficult. It would have to be even like somewhat difficult, expensive, but effective. You know, we're talking about, I don't know, count each one in front of a camera, like something crazy, something like a pretty, I guess, extreme in a sense, but it's like almost necessary because you can't have what's going on right now. And there seems to be only the two directions, and it's either be serious and bring back honor to, I don't know if honor is the right word, but you know what I mean, respect and dignity to the pillars and systems that created America. These were God-inspired systems. Sounds silly, but it's true. They were God-inspired. I mean, you gotta think about that. So yeah, it's either that or the direction we're seeing everything go, and that's just not being serious, just rules gone, mobs in the street, riots. Riot is the way, not votes, but riots, both sides. You see what I'm saying? So if that was a serious government, that's what I do. It's like number one. But it's not a serious government. Instead, you might have heard of this. You got the U.S. basically what? They're out there making a big stink that they sank, or at least their intelligence provided by the U.S. sank this huge warship of a Russian warship. The Moskva sank a month ago or whatever by Ukrainian forces. Well, the U.S. is claiming, this is actually significant, but the U.S. claiming that their intelligence had a part in this and basically, basically publicly admitting that they had a part in sinking Russian assets like that. It's a pretty significant escalation, all right? So that's what the government's doing. They're not having they're not sitting down being serious, saying, okay, let's do something radical. It'll be kind of extreme, expensive, and difficult, but let's televise every ballot. Guess, are you following me? Something like that. Something, just really in depth. No, they're over there escalating stuff. It's just wild. It's just really wild. You following me? You following me? You know what? I'll play this little clip actually. Because I spoke about Russia, so I guess good segue. Might as well show it to you. It's kind of interesting. So you got this Irish politician. He's calling for the government to seize people's private property to support Ukrainian refugees. I mean, I'm just playing this ridiculous thing just to comment on it, but it's kind of significant. I mean, just when you think people falling over themselves to support Ukraine and whatever thing you support de jure, you think there's a limit, but it's scary just how far people will go.
I'm not going to get into the politics of the foreign policy because I don't have time. We'll debate that another day. I just want to really discuss the practical issue of how do we do what we have to do, which is both accommodate Ukrainian refugees and address the housing crisis, which is very, very severe at the moment. And really what I want to argue with the Minister is we've got to make this a win-win, right? And we have to, if the current situation, notwithstanding all of our debates about previous policies and so on, if the current situation has prompted the government into doing extraordinary and unprecedented things, and if it is willing to consider extraordinary and unprecedented things, then I suggest that we do it to get that win-win. Okay? And I think we have the opportunity to do it because Putin's bloody invasion and the fact that there's a war gives, in my opinion, the Minister extra powers, and I want to specifically refer to the Emergency Powers Act of 1939, which gives you the power to do extraordinary, unprecedented things, which include, and this is critical, in Section 2G, to authorise and provide for the acquisition, taking possession, control or use, either by agreement or compulsorily by the state of any land or other property whatsoever. Wow. In the context of war.
So, let me break it down a little bit. Think about this. Well, first I wanted you to see that clip because I just want you to see just how far people are willing to go. Yes, he's a white politician willing to give up the country, his citizenry, the citizenry's private property. Anyways, a lot of things. Yes, he's Irish. A lot of things. What is I'm trying to do Conor McGregor, but I can't do him. I'll take on the Mayweathers. Anyways, that's my Conor McGregor. Irish politician calling for the seizing of private property to support these refugees. I just wanted you to see how far people are willing to go. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but yet sometimes these people surprise me. It really is. I doubt, and I haven't read their laws or anything, but part of me doubts that the original intent of this law or whatever in Ireland or whatever was not so that they could seize property and help these refugees over in another country thanks to a conflict that they don't need to continue. You know what you follow me? I don't think that was the original intent. I think laws like that, in most nations are usually for like existential reasons, like, oh, we got to protect Ireland. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe maybe it is what the law means. Maybe it's like a new, like, progressive Irish law. But I guess I just wanted you to see how far they'd go. But wild stuff. So all this to say what? Really two main points. all this really, right? We saw all this stuff here, but really there's only two main things I really want to say. And that's one, that men have to get right. We got to get it right with women and ourselves. And you know what? Actually, I just thought of this. I think this is a better way of saying this. You may have heard even Jesse say this, but I've seen it in my own life where I know it is. I've seen it in my life where I look back and I don't even recognize, it's like, why did I believe and do the things that I used to do? Liberal thoughts and my ideas and thoughts about sex and my relationship with women. But it was when I woke up. Christianity describes the heart change. All that. When I woke up, everything else started to change. What I believed, politically, everything. And the sex thing changed too. I was dating around, doing my thing. I had a girlfriend and all that. I've dated women, and I thought like everybody else. I thought like every other man. It's sex, right? It's just sex. You enjoy it, and it's just sex. And I don't know. I never thought about giving it up in a sense. But when I woke up, it was how do I say? It was natural. It was natural because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up like into Christianity or into morality or into, I was raised somewhat decent. I wasn't like all the way gone. I guess once I got a little older and was on my own, then I guess you get a little wilder too. So even training and decency has a limit. But my point here is this. So I'm waking up, right? Let me describe this a little bit, if you'll allow me to indulge. So I'm waking up, I'm realizing God is real. And for those that haven't heard the story, I saw the attacks against Trump in 2016, basically, and that woke me up. I saw how evil it was, and I believed in evil. And then I believed in good. Anyways, my heart I really did, something changed. I saw that everything about my way I was raised and everything, or at least basically I was an immoral person, if I can, briefly describe what I'm trying to get at. But my heart changed. I started seeing the whole world differently. And so I started acting differently. I was dating at the time. I even told that girl, hey, I want to do this the right way. And it just, she tried. Hey, it was a little too hard. And we were young and anyways, but it was easy. This is why I'm bringing this up though, because it was easy to do. I was like, okay, this is not working out. I don't need the sex. Let's move on then. My motivations changed. So all that changed. So to get back to what I was saying, when I'm telling guys to get it right, I guess you can't even get it right, because for me, I didn't get it right. I didn't make myself, change into someone who, for example, wanted to wait till marriage. So my heart changed. So my point still stands. Men, we got to be back to morality, okay? Because then all of this would not be an issue. Whatever women throw at you, all of it, it would not be an issue at all. Everything. Think about the abortion thing. That wouldn't even be an issue because you don't need sex and you wouldn't need women. Think about what was else? What else was it this week? I mean, even the week before, Johnny Depp. That was another topic. Think about that. Depp, Amber Heard, doing that lawsuit thing he's going on right now. He's not libel, but defamation. He was defamed as an abuser by Amber Heard, ex-wife. If he had been moral from the get-go, he would have avoided all of that. And how many men are in a similar situation? And sex is at the core, no? It all goes back to sex and women. Well, not everything, but quite a bit lately, at least. Goes back to sex and women and weak men. So what I wanted to say about that, though, I was going to say, oh, man. Oh, well, it's okay. Can't remember every little point. Denti Jan, Nick, they want to be worshipped. Culture and beta simps messed up these wombs. Yeah, they definitely love the worship and control about all that. So, yeah, I was saying that one point, we got to return to morality. And then the second point about honor and respect for the things that made America and the systems and rules. They're here. They were inspired by God and created by strong, moral, upright men who created this country. So don't be so blasé about these. If you some might even see it as normie stuff, Constitution and all. Don't be so blasé about those things. They're significant. They're not the, I guess, end all be all. Morality and God is. So we don't have to be controlled by these things, by the Constitution and things like that. If you'll allow me to elaborate, what I mean by that is a lot of people are stuck in like binary thinking, big government versus small government, conservative, Republican, communism, capitalism. It's like you can, right? It's like, it's actually all those things. It's not like you got to pick the right system. We got to pick the right system. No, all of that is checked by morality and God. So we don't have to be controlled by these documents and things, but we can't be so blasé and just throw it away and call it milquetoast conservatism. And they're quite significant. And it's kind of a shame that this polarization is what's making people on the right kind of be blasé about that. I didn't know blasé was an actual word, says a boy with no face. Am I saying a real word? So blasé. Yeah. Unimpressed or indifferent to something because one has experienced or seen it so often before. I think it comes from French because it has a little accent aigu on top of the E. Blasé.
Blasé.
Blasé. Okay, so that's that. What else do I got to say about all that? I think I'm done with that. So, thank you, by the way, for allowing me a moment of your time to rant and rave about whatever. But big things coming. No reason to be, even though there's some big things happening, okay? With war, with strife inside of the country, amongst each other. But all of that, there's no point, no reason to fret, right? Because there's actually quite a bit of good coming out of this. You're seeing people waking up, a bunch of stuff. So nothing to be afraid of and have fear about, okay? It'll be interesting to see how everything turns out, don't you think? Right on. Okay, so, hey, Sarah, I don't think I've ever seen your name. What's up, Arctic Turn Rockshot? Hey, what's up, Gorgeous Blonde? What up? I love Gorgeous Blonde. Geppetto, Gander, Real Mr. Mad. What's up, Lord Blue? Danimal. I don't think I've seen Sarah, so welcome if you're new. Well, let me get going on some fun stuff. We're going to open up the lines, get the calls rolling as I get some fun stuff prepared. I actually got some fun stuff prepared to get into and enjoy this Friday. So let's kick off some Friday vibes. Let's kick off hey, what's up, Lady Seesaw? Let's kick off some good Friday vibes here and get the calls going, like I said. All right, you guys down? So we'll take some calls. So we'll do. Hey, Zenny, what's up, Zenny? You drew a pic of me? Oh. Why don't you send that? Producer at... Oh, God. Sorry. Producer at JesseLeePeterson.com. Send me that picture if I'd like to see it. So thanks. Zenny drew a pic of me, apparently. Okay, well. Let me stop messing around here. Allow me a moment here to take a quick little break as I get some stuff prepared, and we'll get the calls rolling in a moment here. I am speaking slowly and stalling because I'm looking for the right vibes, and I got them. Be right back. Thank you. Hello. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for holding there on the break. How's everybody doing? Back to the mixed stream. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me know how my levels are. I accidentally clicked something here. Let me know if you can hear me just fine. And nothing's too loud or too loud or too soft. Anyways, so let me read some of these super chats here, since a bunch of you lovely people have decided to support the Nickstream, which I'm very grateful for. You know, if you get the wild hair to do that, I mean, you're more than welcome to, and I'd appreciate that. In the description, you can find if you want to send in a super chat, there's a link. But you know, give if you want to, only if you want to. You know, the content is free after all. But I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. From Lin Yan Chin, it says, the power is in the man. Christ came so that we don't have to. So that we can aspire for something more than carnal distraction. Like building giant robots. Right on, Lin Yan Chin. Lord Bibby asks, why is Alf talking about no sess? Are you talking about me? Are you saying I look like Alf right now? Wait, hold on. Let me pull up a picture. Let me do a side by side. Oh, dang. Lord Bibby. Lord Bibby did me dirty. Look at this. You guys seen this? Alf. I've never watched it. I know what Alf is, but I've seen Alf. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what the show is. I don't know what it's about. But I have seen this little creature who I have a striking resemblance to. People do say if you look at my face straight on from a certain angle, the way my ears and nose align, some say I have a goblin-like look at a certain angle. You could say I'm going goblin mode, if you will. You an alien, Nick. Oh, is Alf a alien? Anyways, Lizzie Bean, thanks Lizzie Bean, says, Nick at Night, why is there a character limit on super chats? Yeah, I don't put that character limit, Lizzie Bean. The character limit is set by YouTube. I think the more you donate, the bigger the character limit, right? So, yeah, that's why. Lord Bibby, another one, thank you, says, go to move equals no sex. No sex means you won't need an abortion. The problem is solved. Right on, ladies. Thanks for solving it. It's done. Let's see here. I think I got some more. Hold on. Some just came in. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Crystal, thank you so much. Thank you. And from Lord Bibby, one more. I think he's clarifying something. He says, no, Nick, not you. Oh, hold on. No, Nick, not you. Joy Behar looks like Elfman. Right on. We need another side-by-side. Do you think we need a side-by-side action? Joy Behar and Alf. I think you're onto something, Lord Bibby. Side-by-side action. I think you're onto something, man. Got a little Alf, Joy Behar action here. Dang. Anyways, thank you so much for the super chats. I really do appreciate it. You know, this show is in its infancy, so I'm just grateful because it's barely a show. So, oh, that's what ALF stands for, alien life form, huh? Right on. So anyways, moving on here. I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to show Hake, actually. I wanted to basically honor a request that the Hake report, James Hake of the Hake report, I think he made, I may have misheard him, but I think he made a little request on the Hake report this morning. He was talking about, well, what he was talking about was how pictures of darker skinned people seem to be lightened. They get lightened when they post them or whatever. You following me here? Do you got anybody hear that on the Hake report? He was talking about basically, yeah, what I just said, that dark skinned people, black people and others. I think he talked about how AOC I don't know if she was caught doing it. I didn't quite hear him out fully. So I don't know if it was like confirmed or if it's just speculation. But that they that they lighten up their skin in Photoshop or whatever. And so basically what, in a sort of request, if you will, James was wondering how they lighten up that skin. Well, in a little chat to James, I explained it's really quite easy. And he said, maybe he'll show you on the Nickstream. So I will, in fact. I got a Photoshop right here. Ooh, I'll be quick here. In case you want to make somebody white. This will be rough, but the more time you spend on this, as with all kind of like artistic things, the better it'll look. But this will be rough. But I told him Control M, and you drag this little thing here. Look at that, JLP's getting whiter. Now there's other things you could do. Like I said, if you spend more time. Like for example this. Make a little mask around his head. Very rough. Allow me to indulge here a moment here and honor James's request. He basically asked me, how do I make people white? Wait, he didn't say that. Now I'm libeling him. He's like, how do I make people white, Nick? Okay. I'm playing around. Okay, so making this little mask around Jesse's head so that whatever pixels I affect will only be the ones that I chose. And I only really want his skin. Again, very rough. Make it Jesse white. And like I said, there's other things you could do. You could do the same thing in Photoshop like 100 different ways, right? Of course, it's very rough, and there's other functions I can use to make them whiter, like levels, for example. I'll try that now. Anyways, oh no, wait, I gotta clip the mask onto just his face. See what I can do to his face? Again, looks kind of rough right now, but this needs more time. So there you go, Hake. That's how you do that. Just mess around. So yeah, that's for Hake. So that's how you do that. Very easy to do. Not difficult. Now, can you set a mask to the heart and then mess with the levels and make your heart white? Well, sorry folks, it's not quite that easy. It is quite easy, I think. At least it's described the way it's described by people. It seems like it might be easy, but not quite the way I showed you. All right, you can't press Control M on your heart and make you be white on the inside. You feel me? Moving on here. Let me open up the lines. All right, the numbers on the screen. If you so wish to call the Nickstream, you're welcome to, and talk about what you like. It's Friday, right? So I want you guys to get it off your chest, or comment on what the abortion and what's happening this week, or whatever you want to talk about. It is the Nickstream, right? So 760-515-3855. Call in as we get it rolling here with some other stuff that I got planned for the rest of the show. Only God can Photoshop your heart. Thanks, Andres. You're right about that. You're right about that. Jesse somewhere shopping for polos. Lin Yan Chin with the coming in strong with the super chat. Thank you. He says, you fiddling here will voodoo ensnare the actual Jesse, who is like, what the? Why am I turning white? Amazing. Wouldn't that be cool? Photoshop had some voodoo abilities. JLP wishes his credit score was 730. Well, is it Rich? Well, Rich. Jesse comes from a more old school time when blacks had a better credit score. So at least I think. So anyways, moving on here. Like I said, lines open. I missed your call there. My apologies. But if you'd like to call in, 760-515-3855. We got some fun stuff here. So which one shall I do first? Okay, so check this out. I'm sure I mentioned this earlier a little bit. You know, I briefly mentioned this. And how do I do this? How do I do this? Hey, Sir Blake, thank you so much. Right on. Are you a new listener? I feel like I'm just seeing your name now. Photoshopping blacks into whites is a whole show by itself. Okay, so here's what I'm getting at here. What am I getting at? I'm lost. Okay, no, I'm not lost. Kevin Samuels. I talked about him earlier, briefly. Well, rest in peace, right? News came out. I heard it this morning. I don't know if the news came out earlier, but the news came out that Kevin Samuels has expired. He passed away. He died. Okay, the man is dead. So rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. He was a YouTuber with 1.4 million subscribers. So he was no lout, and he was made a name for himself. He made a name for himself, basically subduing and dominating women. Subduing and dominating women. And so he made a name of himself doing that. He gave advice to men and to women, dating advice, marital stuff. And he dealt with a lot of relationship stuff. Brought down women down a peg. A lot of women who high up on their high horse, thinking this or that about themselves and about men and about women in general. And he telling them the truth and bringing them down a peg, right? Making them a little shorter, chopping them off at the knees, which is good, by the way, ladies. That's love, by the way, ladies. Did you know that? That's what love is. Did you know that? Or at least it could be love, right? Because love is like a heart thing. So even if you say the right things, it may not mean you have love. Topic for another time, though. Okay, so Kevin Samuels. There was something interesting here in the news story from NBC. It was what? Oh, Samuels described himself as an image consultant. That's true. He did a lot of he did dating advice, fashion for men, how to deal with women better. So I guess image consultant is fair. But in this article, there was what? He was with a woman. A woman was in his apartment. Don't know who she was or what she was to him. But according to her, Samuels and her, they were together, and apparently he started having chest pains shortly after he collapsed, and the woman called the police. And it was afterwards, when he was brought to the hospital, or sometime between then, that he was pronounced dead. You know, he got a lot of hate from the ladies. Hey, Willie Pal, man, thank you for the double super chat there. Thank you so much. Got a lot of hate from the ladies and simps. But he spoke the truth about women and about black women too. Big time. Definitely needed. Big time. Because women and black women are just out of control. Hey, Teresa G. No, I don't know if he took the jab. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm seeing some tweets here. Kevin Samuels made a career off of shamelessly disgracing black women for profit. He emboldened the most toxic individuals to project tired and harmful narratives about black women. Some journalist, Ernest Owens, wrote this, calling him a misogynist. I don't know. I didn't watch too much of his stuff, to be honest. I've seen clips and just clips, basically. Really, I really never really watched too much of his content. Seemed like a solid guy, though. Seemed like a solid dude who's trying to give people advice and wake men up and stuff. And he basically got smeared. He basically got hate because he was manly. He had a backbone. He spoke the truth. He said it how it was, how he saw it, and he got hate for that. So rest in peace. You know, that's needed in society and in life right now. Richard Coral asks, who died? Kevin Samuels, man. He was 56, I believe. Kevin Samuels passed away at 56. Wow, young. And okay, what am I getting at here? Yeah, there was something. Well, I was segueing into something. What a mess. Anyway, so there was. Oh, you know what? There was one thing I remember he would say. There was something he'd say. He didn't seem like the vax taking kind, says vexed. I tend to agree. There was one thing I remember he would say to women who were over 35, he'd say, "Oh, women, are you 35 and not married? Then you're the leftovers." He would call them leftovers. Pretty savage. Kind of a point, don't you think? I mean, he's got an interesting point because a lot of women, they have different motivations in those years, 20s and 30s, and it's like a common theme that they end up childless and kind of miserable, and pretty much projecting their own misery on other women, younger women, and telling them patriarchy and women and all. You know what I mean? Like, just these older women, childless women, projecting their misery on these younger women and telling them it's the patriarchy, don't get married, don't have children. So 35 and not married, you're the leftovers. Pretty savage, and hopefully kind of wakes up some women. I did want to say this because it strikes me in the MGTOW red-pilled, I'm red-pilled about women, like sphere. I think one thing that's missed, one thing that people miss. Hey, caller, I see you calling. In fact, I see a few of you calling. Let me finish this up here, and I'll get right to the calls, okay? So appreciate that. Hold on. Hey, caller, just hold on for me. Just hold on, caller. I'll be right with you. I'm just finishing this up here. So basically, what I'm saying here about Kevin Samuels, he would say that about the women. 35 and not married, you're the leftovers. And interesting, and there's some truth to that, but what I was getting at is that in the woman sphere, red-pilled MGTOW sphere, I think one thing that the men miss is the love thing. Guys missing the love for the ladies. You gotta have love. And I don't know where Kevin Samuels was coming from with that quote. I'm not saying he does or doesn't have love, but women get into a bunch of crap just like the men do. Okay, we all come from messed up, roots, just like the ladies. Okay, so they got into crap just like you did, right? Have a little love for the ladies, right? Not weakness, not weak love, but like real love, understanding, a tough hand when necessary. And so I'm bringing up Kevin Samuels here too a little bit because there's a couple of things here that happened this week that has to do with women, has to do with men, has to do with degeneracy, things that he was against, right? He kind of fought against in a sense. Did you guys see this? This is degenerate, okay? This is totally degenerate, but I saw this on my Twitter. How do I open this up? Okay. Because, okay, so, okay, a little degenerate, but there was a convention, I believe, in Chicago, okay? There was I think it was this week. Chicago. Let me get the story right, because we're kind of doing this loosey-goosey. So I want to get the story right. Right? So give me a moment here. So yeah, Exotica. Yes, in Illinois. Rosemont. Where's Rosemont? Rosemont, Illinois. Hold on. Is that Chicago? Because, there's some people, like, for example, I used to know a guy who lived in Evanston, Chicago, or Evanston, Illinois. And it's like, I don't think you could say you're from Chicago, right? You're from Evanston, right? You're not Chicago. It's like people in Mississauga saying they're from Toronto, or people from, I don't know, Glendale, or what's a place in LA? Like somewhere out like the Valley. saying, I live in LA or somewhere a little bit farther, maybe. Anyways, yeah, it looks like it's near Chicago. The point, I'm getting distracted here. There was a porn convention, a pornography convention. Yes, it is a convention where adult actors and actresses get together under a building and meet their fans, their adoring fans, very, very adoring fans. And so this convention called 𝒔𝒐𝒂𝒎 took place recently, either this week or the week before, but very recently. And so I saw a bunch of postings on my Twitter, and first of all, you guys got to see some of these guys. Some of these guys that go to this stuff. It's like, does the face can the face and body represent the inner world, the soul and the spirit? Is it possible? I think it's somewhat possible, because the what do they call it? I heard some people use this term, physiognomy or physiognomy. I think that means like where your looks kind of represent something deeper inside of you, like sneaky looking people are sneaky. Is that what that means, physiognomy? Anyways, I'm trying to pull it up here, but there was a thread here with the types of people that went to this thing. And then there's another guy who's hilarious, and I want to get into that. But hold on, I'm trying to pull it up, because it's these people. Like, what kind of person do you have to be to go to one of these things? 𝒔𝒐𝒂𝒎. Now I gotta be careful here. I don't want anything weird showing up on stream. So if you'll allow me here, I gotta be careful. Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure. I'm looking at the picture, making sure there's nothing crazy here. We're gonna do this slowly and carefully. Okay, I think this picture is fine, but look at this guy's face. We got a male at 𝒔𝒐𝒂𝒎 holding on to, barely. He's got the hover hands going on. Physiognomy check. I mean, what type of person goes to this thing? And I'm bringing this up because it's funny and it's kind of degenerate and funny, but let's not forget something here. Nick about to pull up. No, I'm not about to. No, JS. We're talking about, they went to a convention, man. Anyways, look, this is kind of interesting because growing up, I didn't know a single person, my peers, that did not watch porn. Okay? Pornography is like a deeply entrenched right now. It's pretty crazy and pretty dark. So we're laughing, but it shouldn't be something to ignore. I mean, did any of you watch the Fallen State episode earlier with Alana Parek? It's like she went through a lot of stuff herself growing up. I saw in this episode, she mentioned how most people she talked to, because she deals with people who are addicted to porn. And she mentioned how most people she talks to, they were introduced to the porn before, like in their youth, like when they were children. Like, I think she said even before 10 or around that age. You know what I'm saying? These people, so this Alana Parek, she was the episode that we just played for the Fallen State. She deals with these, people addicted to porn, and most of the people she talks to were, exposed to it as children. I was too, as a child. Now that I'm remembering, I remember, what was it? I must have been, okay, we were where? Where were we? We were in Canada. I must have been around 10, 11. And I was left to my own devices with a computer. Oh, and I was on the computer since I was a kid. They left me on a computer, and I was like a pro as a little kid. And I was a kid, a curious kid, and what do I do while I'm alone? I type in sex.com. I forget why. Why was I even interested in that? Must have been like a curious mind, because I was pretty young. I wasn't into into sex or anything. So I'm just trying to remember. But anyways, I remember typing in sex.com, right? I'm like, let's go to the www.sex.com, right? It must be easy. And I don't know what happened. I don't think I clicked anything. The point is, what I remember was what happened next was a tornado. I think that's what you could call that. Because pop-up after pop-up started coming up. And I'm a kid. Pop-up of like hardcore stuff, okay? Like hardcore stuff that, you know, burned into my mind kind of hardcore stuff. Pop-up. And every time I would X one, another one would come up to the point where I ran to the outlet of the computer, unplugged it. Because I couldn't stop it. I unplugged it. I'm there. I'm sitting there. A shocked, forever changed child. A forever changed afro, little curly afro sitting there. Just like, what did I just see? Yes, 𝒔𝒂𝒎𝒑𝒔, a tornado. So I think, you know, Alana Parekh, the Fallen State guest, I think she's right about that. Most people get at least shown that stuff when they're much too young. Let's look at a couple more degenerates from this convention before I show you this one boss. Yes, there was a boss at the porn convention. I know. But there was. But I have to be careful with these pictures. Okay, hold on. Keep scrolling. Can't show that one. Oh, man. Degenerates. Look at this guy with a Marvel shirt. Oh, let me be careful there. Look at this guy with a Marvel shirt. Marvel dude doing a meet a fan. I don't know. Just no, guys. Don't admit these things. Don't be open about it. But that's the society right now. It's all this is cool. All this is totally fine. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing immoral. Immorality is not even real. You feel me? There was another Coomers. That's the word I was looking for. You guys seen the Coomer meme? Is basically what it was. Ah, man, I don't think I could. I want to be careful. So I don't even want to tell you guys to look it up. But there was one degenerate. Anyways, I'll never find it. So I'm looking at these like dudes that I'm like the type of people who goes to these things, like what type of person. But there was one guy. He's clearly the King Coomer, the Coomer boss, the Coomer to end all Coomers. This male, can't judge though, that's for sure. I hear you, Hondo. We gotta call it out, man. We gotta call it out because we need men. We need men to come back. So we can't have these men who, well, I'm talking about men who say that this is a good thing. They call a wrong thing a right, like this porn stuff. We gotta be calling them out, all right? Just like the women, just like it's over for the women, just like we're gonna subdue and dominate the women, putting them in red dresses and oppressive headgear. I'm playing. The weak beta males as well. They have to subdue and we have to subdue and dominate them as well. But anyways, I'm talking about this one guy at this convention. His name's Jimmy Collins. Look, King Coomer here. Degenerate picture, but no naked. Nobody's naked, so. But heads up, it's a degenerate picture. This guy, Jimmy Collins, we got my boy here. My boy showed up to the Exotica porn convention in Illinois wearing a fitted, like a well-fitting, great-looking suit. He's got Cartier sunglasses or Cartier gold rims on his face. These are expensive, okay? Those are expensive. Even used, all that expensive stuff. My boy's got the Jordan 11s on, okay? My boy's steezing at the porn, at the Exotica, at the Illinois Exotica porn convention. Hey, Lady Jade. She says, I don't mean to put out your stuff, Lady Jade, but you did type it in the chat. She says, I was exposed to porn when I was 9. Yeah, I know what you mean, Lady Jade. It's really crazy. I don't know a single peer who was not into porn, at least accepted it, or in some way was okay with it, or, consumed it themselves. I don't know a single one growing up. So, kind of funny. I mean, degenerate, everything we talked about, but this one guy here, pretty funny. Going out with the drip, all dripped out all the way. Cartier's. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that's the Coomer. I think that's King Coomer. See you degenerates in the chat. I'm seeing you freaking degenerates in the chat, y'all. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Oh, man. I haven't even been paying attention to the calls here, so I think a bunch of you, I've missed a couple of you, so my apologies. Can you talk about it without showing it to us? Some of us do not want to see this, Nick. That's fair, but I'm being careful. I didn't show any gross stuff. That last picture was the spiciest, but you guys, the point was the guy's drip, okay? My boy Jimmy Collins with the drip. Oh, what's a coomer? I see some of you asking what's a coomer. Okay, it's a meme, all right, y'all? It's a meme, and the meme is about basically men who are, I think even women. Why isn't this a call-in show? The number's on the screen. You can call in. In fact, I got a call right now. Hey, caller, hold on. I'll be right with you. I'm explaining to some viewers who don't know what a coomer is, but it's basically a sexually degenerate person. Someone who's into porn, usually, and they're into sex, and they don't see anything wrong with how degenerate they are with sex. They're coomers. All right, caller, you are on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Nick, this is Jade. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Jade? Thanks for calling the show. Where are you calling from?
Las Vegas.
Right on. Well, appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the whole pornography thing is just disgusting. I mean, I think it's so viewed so young because most people grow up in single-parent households where, their mother's always at work, so no one's watching them, and they get left alone to their own devices. And I could be being a conspiracy when I say this, but I think that's all done on purpose to taint and poison the minds of the youth, because that's all that happens when kids are left alone.
I don't even think that's a conspiracy, because while I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, the fact remains that evil people, even if they didn't cause a situation, evil people are opportunistic in the sense that they will use any situation to exert control, brainwash, and whatever, including the existence of porn, for example. So
right,
whatever you're referring to, I'm not sure, but are there people, malicious people, using a degenerate thing like porn to demoralize the public? Yes, absolutely. That's the evil is doing that with so many things, because an immoral people, an immoral public, is easy to control.
Yes, and that's why they don't have age restrictions. It should have a thing where you have to put your ID in to prove your age before you can even access that kind of stuff.
Like cigarettes and stuff. You gotta prove your age. That's interesting. I think we should I think we should outlaw it outrightly. There used to be laws, I think, right? Like there may even still be laws, but they're just not being enforced. But basically, what's the word? Laws against, laws against, the word I'm looking for is indecency? No. But basically laws against smut, really. There used to be, used to be, or there are laws that are not being enforced against porn and smut and just particularly degenerate stuff being put out. That used to not be allowed. We got to go back to that.
Yeah, we do. And it's just causing it's a horrible, I see like a lot of my peers, I'm 25, and so many of my peers are engaging in this explicit content making online. And I tried to explain to people my age how...
Oh, you have friends who make the stuff.
Yeah, peers. Yeah, I
Oh, you
wouldn't
know
call
what?
them friends because I don't associate with them as a
Now
friend.
that you mention it, yeah, actually, I know people, I know ladies who personally that are doing OnlyFans now, and it's pretty sad.
Right, and they will lie to you and tell you, "Oh, I'm so happy," but I'm like, "You are soulless inside. You are soulless," and it's a spiritual attack on the people. And I tried to explain it because when you're engaging and looking at these images, these women who are doing this are broken women. They aren't sound and whole spiritually. So you're looking at them and you're taking pleasure in these people's pain. And I'm like, that's not good for your soul and your ascension.
Yep. Yeah. So I think I saw you in the chat mention that you got into it, you were exposed to it pretty young.
Yeah, I was. I realized how, awful it was about 4 years ago. And I was like, yeah, this, because it never feels good to even watch it. It's just so, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided I wasn't going to engage in that stuff anymore. And the spiritual growth I've experienced just from that one thing alone, stopping that one thing alone, has been astronomical.
Really? Can you describe briefly like what you mean by that?
What do you mean? What'd you say?
Yeah, could you describe maybe briefly like what you mean by that? How have you grown? Like you mentioned spiritual growth because of, quitting porn. So could you maybe describe one thing?
It's like impulse control. When you when you have control over yourself and you have discipline, it allows you to open so many more doors. Like the thought in your head pops up and then you're like, okay, whatever, I'm going to do that. And then if you learn how to say no and fight these, it's really demonic spirits, I feel like. If you can say no to them, their attacks on you become less powerful and less frequent. You no longer give into the darkness, which is that kind of stuff.
I think you're right about that because, you were saying, repeat that last part again.
You don't give into the darkness, the dark forces.
That's right. The discipline that comes from, I think you're right about this because if you notice people who are, I think a lot of people, I think most people, they want to better their lives in some way or some form. And they can even probably think of actionable things they can change and do, habits or whatever that they want to change to, have a better life. But I notice in life that even though people can they can even like, know or write out what they got to do, even step by step. What do I got to do to make my life better? They don't because of impulse. I think impulse control, lack of it. They know the actionable things that they can do to improve their life, even if it's a little bit. Yet they give in. They go right back to lizard brain, animal brain, and they give in to the first temptation or whatever that comes their way, and they get derailed yet again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I noticed if you have like a list of things you don't want to continue to do in order to progress yourself, if you even start to like falter at all from that list, it's going to just be like a snowball effect, and you're going to start reneging on all the other things you want to change as well about yourself.
Interesting. One thing I want to say, I mentioned, getting self-control over yourself in a sense, and how.
Do I have any self? Oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm saying that I mentioned that we need self-control, and that, but I mentioned how when people who are trying to fix their lives in a sense, they get derailed at whatever first temptation comes their way. I wanted to say that even though I said derailed, I think it's interesting, or at least something you should remember that I don't know if you can really be derailed in a sense, if you will. What I'm getting at is that I don't think, at least for the people who are listening and are, listening to Jesse and they want to improve their lives, they know that whatever they're into is not exactly correct, good or right, and they want to get over whatever it is. I don't think while you're doing that and your journey of overcoming that, I don't think you can be derailed, like I said. So don't get all crazy if you find yourself doing something degenerate.
I agree with
That's
that.
all I'm
I would
saying is
agree with
basically don't judge yourself, right? You've heard Jesse say it. I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
I just wanted to repeat it.
And I agree with that because once you reach a certain point in your growth, there's like a point of no return. So while you may mess up here and there, you can never get as bad as you once were.
Sounds interesting. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that sounds.
Well, that's how
I think that might be right. Yeah. What'd you say?
That's how it is for me, at least.
Right on. Well, Jade, I wanted to ask you something else real quick before I let you go.
Sure.
I can't remember. Oh well. Maybe how do you remember? Like what even? How'd you even get into it? It was like accidental. Like you were accidentally.
Yep.
Exposed.
Yeah. So I was I would go to these places called the Boys and Girls Club because my mom had to work, and we had a computer lab, and I don't know how these kids did it, but they would allow everyone to go into the computer lab, all age groups, at a certain point of the day, like after 5, because normally they would split everybody up between ages. And after 5 p.m., all the kids from 5 to, like, I think 15 could go in one computer
I think I know what you're getting at. This it happened to me the exact same way, but go on.
Yeah. Somebody, they bypassed the fire wall or something like that. I guess it's not hard to do. And they brought all the kids around the computer and were showing us, like, pornography games.
Wow.
And that's how it got started for me.
Messed up, Jade. Messed up. Well, I'm glad that you have a different sense about it now. And oh yeah, there's one thing I wanted to ask you too. It almost doesn't seem like ladies really get too into it. Did you know other ladies into it? Like women? Is it uncommon for women? I know we had the Fallen State guest. I think she even mentioned that it's uncommon for women, but in your life, what about your peers?
Oh, so in my experience,
because we know the men, but what about the women? Is it true or no? Were the
in
women
my experience, I don't know if it's just in where I live, but they're very vocal about how they like to watch pornography. They say they watch certain categories.
You're talking about women?
Yeah, they are very open about it. Like there's no shame about it.
Yeah,
now a lot of girls they won't talk about it, but
about the shame thing, that's an interesting point because that's a woman thing. The women are the one trying to get rid of shame in society.
And shame is so good for you because it shows you that feeling you get when you do something. You're like, oh, I feel kind of bad. That's healthy for you because then it's like God trying to tell you, hey, stop that, so you don't have to feel like this.
You should definitely have a bird's eye view of yourself while you're doing anything in life, and have just a little bit of sense, a little bit of awareness. Jade, very interesting call. I appreciate it. I'm gonna move the wheels.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Right on, Jade. Take care. Good stuff. Interesting. It's crazy the things we've all got into. No, don't you think? We got into a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, lines are still open. Please, by all means, call in. As I get into this next thing that I want to get into here, I showed you guys. What did I show you here? Let me see. We did Samuels. We did Exotica, Illinois, Jimmy Collins, the king of all coomers. Let me see here. Hold on. I showed you how to make people white in Photoshop. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Jade? I see you in the chat. Doom G. I see someone in chat not happy with the all caps. Listen, I think there's only one person in the chat who's pretty much all caps all the time, and he's pretty much the only one allowed to, and that's Doom Jesus. Anyways, caller, you are on the air. Go ahead.
Nick at night, baby.
What's up? I think this is Luka out of Indiana. How you doing, man?
That it is.
Right on, man.
Shout out to Lady Jade. She on fire.
Nice. Good call.
That was a great call.
Right on. Go ahead, Luka.
Yeah. So, yeah. How's everybody doing out there tonight?
Happy Friday.
And, all this talk about women killing the babies in the womb, being upset about it. I mean, I think we're seeing a final phase of, the darkness of humanity, and it's going to really shine the light, like that biblical question was talking about.
Ooh.
All is going to be revealed very soon. It just, you can feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So that's what you say JLP's biblical, the answer to JLP's biblical question this week is, if I may indulge into the JLP show a minute here, it's what is in the dark will come to the light. What does that mean? You're saying it's
I think that was
all the lies and any deceptions going on that will be revealed?
Yeah, I called in JLP and mentioned that.
Oh, that's
that
right, yeah.
Just definitely, it seems like with Elon Musk taking over Twitter, that was a big step towards the unveiling.
When that kind of stuff happened, I think I was even saying maybe last show that the energy, something changed in the energy. It feels like 2016 energy, like we're back, time to subdue and dominate these losers, anti-America haters.
Yeah, it's like the truth is just going to steamroll. You can just feel that energy.
That's what the energy
coming.
was.
Like,
I hope that it sure feels like it's back, at least in some part.
And, you know,
we got to keep it going.
People seem kind of iffy about Trump. I'm not iffy about him, but I just know the energy that he kind of created is unstoppable right now. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's DeSantis. We know he needs to stay in Florida, but it's going to be people power. It's going to be everybody.
Let's
go.
Just,
everybody's waking up left and right. They can't hide their mistakes anymore. They're getting so sloppy.
Right on, man. Yeah. We're back.
Because when you're angry, you know, there's such angry people. This whole left side is just, it's all anger, it's all hate. It's everything Jesse's been trying to warn us about. And you're going to see how sloppy that makes you when you go through life being emotional, being angry. You know, like that Joy who looks like Elf, the alien.
Yeah.
She's just so angry all the time.
Yeah, man, there's big time anger going around. You're reminding me of this tweet I saw. And I'm going to pull it up here so I can show people. It was this tweet. It was about the Amber Heard stuff. It was Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, the whole trial going on. And and there was this was like from a conservative guy. And if you'll allow me a moment here just to pull it up.
Lay it on me.
Yes. Hold on. I got to hear somewhere. Where did I put it? Okay.
No.
Exactly. So, while I look for it, but basically this conservative guy was on Twitter saying he was trying to dunk on Amber Heard, basically, and he was saying how he spoke to someone in the like a woman, one of the women or something involved in the Weinstein trial. And she was saying, and this conservative guy was saying how this person, this unnamed Weinstein trial girl that he was talking to, was saying how she does not believe Amber Heard. And then his response, his take on it was basically, see, even real victims of sexual abuse or whatever don't believe her. And what my point here is why you're reminding me of this is that there really is just anger on all sides. You got, you know, so-called conservative men just at the ready to chomp at the bit and dunk on the enemy, if you will, but they're willing to do that so badly that they're willing to go along with feminism and go along with other evil stuff.
Yeah, you totally just made another connection, how all the dominoes are falling. I mean, they keep trying to, how they put that lady on trial for the Epstein case, and then they just sweep it under the carpet, and they're like, okay, now let's go on to something else. But it's going to keep getting brought back up. We're going to keep finding out more and more people who are involved with Epstein Island, and that's when all the dominoes are really going to fall, and humanity is going to finally be freed from the dark. Huzzah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about all that, but it sounds nice. I definitely am against pedophiles, and I sure hope that we'll see. I mean, it's been some time, but imagine something like really, like some real stuff coming out of the whole Epstein and like people getting named and all that. That'd be pretty wild, huh? But
yeah, because a lot of us in the know, we already know who's on that list. I mean, you don't want me to name drop, but we already know, you know?
Yeah, I think we all know. But I'm actually not up on all that stuff. I'm not like into it, but I know that there's definitely evil, seedy people out there, and I don't want to make accusations.
Essentially, everybody who was going after Trump, I mean, come on. They out themselves by going after Trump.
True. Yeah, so man. And it's so wild what the media and everybody focuses on. It's so fake. It's so fake.
Yeah, and all this sexual stuff like Jade was talking about, I mean, they're trying to lower our vibration. They're trying to get our minds and all this sexual stuff. And
where's the vibration?
Abortion is
What is that
Yeah,
stuff?
you know, the collective consciousness
I've
and
heard
humans
stuff
have
like
a
that.
vibration. Like, you can vibrate in the 3D, and you can get into a low vibration is when you're
Whoa,
feeling,
man.
you know, sad and angry. But if you raise your vibration, you know, you feel more joy and you feel more like synchronicities or like, what's that word people say, coincidences or whatever.
Mhm.
But, you know, it just means the higher your vibration gets, the more you're just like kind of flowing in that flow, and you start seeing everything going your way. And, you know, you
Did
got to
you-
stay positive though.
Nice. Thanks for the positive vibes. Did you grow up like were you like a bit of a like were you always a Christian, by the way? Or are you a Christian?
Oh, me?
Yes.
No, I was born and raised Catholic, and then I left all that after my final
Did you ever get into
confirmation
like
when I was like 15.
oh yeah? Did you ever get into like new agey stuff or hippie stuff?
Yeah, like I went way down that rabbit hole back
I
in
knew you were a little
2005.
bit of a hippie, at least at some point.
Yeah, like I was a total hippie liberal, like I told Hank when I called him one time.
I think
but
I
then
remember
I
that, actually,
found
now that you mention it.
Trump and JLP, and you guys have set me on that alpha path rather than being all, you know, liberal and womanly.
Nice. Well, right on,
But
Luka.
yeah, I see both sides of it though, so I try to see how it all connects, like how the conservatives and the whatever liberals
Mhm.
could ultimately see eye to eye when you stay in the middle. I think most people do
Nice.
agree, but when you're an extremist on either side, that's when they get kind of wacky. But yeah, thanks for yakking with me.
Right on, Luka. Appreciate your call. Moving the wheels. Awesome stuff. Great stuff. Great call. What am I going to get into now? I think Zenny in the chat sent me a little picture of me. He drew this apparently. So I want to show you. Zenny in the chat making some very awesome art, some based art of Nick and doing the Nickstream himself. I mean, quite the resemblance. Was this just like a really quick sketch there, Zenny? Are you like a total artist, or is this just a try? Either way, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Zenny. Something Luka said about extremism made me think of. Hey caller, I'll be right. Hey caller, I'll be right with you. Don't hang up. Yeah, caller, I'll be right with you. Don't hang up. So something that Luka was saying about, I guess, extremism, kind of interesting. What was I thinking about that? You know what it reminded me of? It made me think of who? Oh, you know what it made me think of? There was this video of this guy, and I don't know who he was. And it's this video I saw, and it's of this radio guy back in, I think, the 50s or sometime. Him talking about what was he saying? I think it's kind of famous. If the devil were around today or something like that. Paul Harvey, if I were the devil. Paul Harvey, if I were the devil. I'm sure a lot of you recognize this.
If I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness.
So he's a radio guy back in 1965 talking about if he were the devil, and he's describing a bunch of things he'd do if he were the devil. And what he describes very strikingly, you could draw parallels to what's going on today. And there was one thing this Paul Harvey guy said about the devil. And if he was the devil, he would want to convince the public that extremes are wrong, that you want to be in the middle and you want to be something like that. And that he would, let me see if I can find it.
And then I did how to make a listen.
Hold on. I'm almost there. Hold on.
If those who wanted until I had. And what'll you bet? I could get
Forgive me.
In Page's old-fashioned, in moral.
Oh, I would caution against. Here it is. Paul Harvey, he's saying in this clip, he's saying he would, if he was the devil, he would caution against extremes in hard work, patriotism, and moral conduct. So I guess he's a little bit more specific. Not just any extreme, but Paul Harvey meant if he was the devil, he would convince you that extremes are bad, at least in hard work, patriotism, and moral conduct. That in the middle, not this or not that, at least in the context of morality, that's evil. Just something that the talk with Luka about extremes made me think of. Okay, so I have a caller here. My apologies. What's up, caller? Go ahead. Your name.
Hey, my name is Jay. I just wanted to touch in.
Hey, Jay, where are you calling from, man?
Subject you guys were talking earlier.
Yeah, for sure. But first, tell the viewers where you're calling from.
Oh, my apologies. I'm calling from LA.
Right on. We got. I missed your name. One more time.
Jay.
Jay from LA. Thanks for your call, man. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Basically, I just wanted to add to that conversation you guys are having about how serious it is when you're exposed to porn at an early age.
Yes.
I remember, my household, it was basically kind of like a frat house.
Okay. You're talking about the home you grew up in?
Yeah.
So,
it was basically, older brother, girls coming in and out. Pops was okay with it, because like I said, it was like somewhat like a frat house rather than, like, I'm sure if I had like your typical, mother and father in the household type of thing, that wouldn't have been allowed, But I grew up single parent, and it was just mainly more like a frat house vibe. From now that I'm older, the way I look at it, it was literally just girls coming in and out, and then you learned about that, and then at an early age.
You said girls would come in and out of your home?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So like there was some stuff going on with your parents or something?
Well, no, it's just my brother,
Oh, I'm following you.
I'm
following you.
Yeah, you get that's what I'm trying to say.
That's wild, man. That reminds me of how I grew up. I was allowed to bring, at least this one girlfriend I had, I was allowed to bring her home. And we would like be in my room alone. It's just like, what the heck is wrong with you? Why would you ever allow that?
Yeah, it's just, you grew up around that. And mind you, this is like really early. I'm talking about I was so young. I remember even losing my virginity very young. And, I was just programmed that way. The way I saw it was just go out there, have fun. It's a normal thing. And then...
Isn't that funny how I see women online, sorry to interrupt you, but you're reminding me of how women, especially with the whole abortion thing going on, I saw some men basically saying, yeah, it's time to be celibate, and their response is, ew, you incel, you virgin? Like it's supposed to be an insult. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. That's how society sees virginity, I never really saw it like quite like them, like something to laugh at, but it's like seen as like a pathetic thing. But imagine like having your virginity still in this day and age. That'd be like based. Anyways.
Well, they turn everything into an insult. They also call guys F-boys.
Yes.
That's an insult. That's not an insult to a guy. A guy is like, if they rather be their F-boys, like go ahead. Like it's not an insult calling us.
Yeah, don't F-boys it's supposed to be like an insult, but don't they like get around? They get like plenty of girls, and they're just fine.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like to them, they think it's not an insult to men. It doesn't work. Like when you call a woman, the F word. I don't know if you can say it in your show. I don't want to mess it up, but
it's fine. Like just to say this once more about swearing and all that. On my show, I'm like, I'm not a person who likes like swearing that much, but it's not that big of a deal. Just don't be all crazy dirty. But if you swear,
exactly.
But go on, you were saying?
Yeah, so like I said, growing up in that type of household and everything, like I said, as I got older, even throughout high school, like that was just the whole thing, around my friends, I was the first one to, get into that level, and so it, like I said, you just kind of grew up in those vibes, right? And then I just remember as I got older, the women on me, same thing. They were like, I didn't know this until later, after when, I guess you could say once you, like how you were talking about earlier, like when you wake up and, Christianity starts to take over your thoughts and you start to see things different.
You just see life differently.
Later, because I remember for a very long time, I was angry at my exes,
Are your exes?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriends and stuff, the way, they cheated on me, but then again, I cheated on them too, and just all
there
that
it is.
stuff, right?
It's just all a mess. Yeah.
Exactly, and then it wasn't until later, especially watching Jesse, where I realized it's like, if you're not just in the world, but you're of it, you're going to get what the world gives you. So I learned that you can't get mad at these. I couldn't get mad at them. Like, what's the point of me being angry at them? You know, like, there was no reason for me to be mad at them, because like what they did to me, I did to them, and it's just a normal thing. Like, there's no need for me to be upset with them.
Yep.
You
yeah,
know?
we
So,
all
like,
we all
I
get
made
into this
peace
stuff
with
and
that.
hurt each other and continue
They're no
like
different
this
than I
darkness.
was. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like
well
they
said.
were no different than what I was. Like, it was norm. Like, I just realized, like, I just made peace with all that. It's like, what am I being upset? Like, I got what they gave me, I deserved it. What I gave them, they deserved. We were both in the same pond. Like, there's no different. And then eventually, I just started realizing, like, oh man, like, how all that stuff was bad, how it affected me, like my relationships, you know, why I couldn't really establish proper relationships. I was just going with different girls, attracting the wrong women, getting involved with the wrong women, and it just really, and I'm glad that eventually I woke up, because the way the world is now, it is so dangerous now. Like, it's not like back in the day. Like, nowadays, you know, if a woman, not all, but most, like what Jesse says, but there's some women that if they don't like, notice the pattern. If a woman don't like you anymore, and let's say you were funny, you'll throw some jokes, maybe some sexual jokes, just and then they're laughing. I mean, everything's cool. But the moment they don't like you no more, oh, he was a perv. Oh, he was creepy. Oh, he was this. Like, suddenly it just, you get molded into this weird thing, and then suddenly they accuse you of things, or they use certain words to ruin you.
I mean, how many of those
creepy
stories we
nowadays.
saw of those young guys in university getting involved with a woman, and then she turns around and says, because she regrets it, that it was actually rape or whatever. And these guys' lives get ruined, even if they don't get convicted or anything, or the charges or whatever get dropped. Their reputation and lives pretty much are ruined. They have to, like, leave the school in one case, I remember. And again, like I was saying earlier, this at the beginning of the show, the response is, sure, the laws are against the men. Sure, the women are out of control. But the men, if you guys were right from the get-go, you'd avoid all this.
Very true. And there's one more thing I also wanted to bring up, that it just really started making me think. The guest Jesse had earlier on the show.
You mean on the Fallen State? Today's Fallen State episode? Yes.
Yeah. I was, you know, kudos to you guys for putting that together, the whole team, man, because
it was good.
It was very important. Yeah, it was very important, because the thing she said, the thing she said, how they're using porn as a weapon.
Yes.
And it's so true, because I was having that conversation with my buddy. I was like, you know, how, I think it was about a year or so ago. I remember telling my buddy, I go, it is so weird how I remember when I was, you know, about 15, so you're looking at 20, 25 years ago, where, you know, you go to these porn sites and, okay, the porn's there, right? Like, whatever you're looking at. However, now everything is categorized, but you wonder for whom. You know, they have video game ads. They have anime porn. They have things that it doesn't seem like it caters to adults. It's catering to another demographic. Yeah, or they have, like, weird titles now. Like, if you pay, I mean, I'm probably going a little Alex Jones here, but if you pay attention to the titles, you know, it's stuff that normally it just feels programmable. Like, who are you targeting now? Like, it just doesn't seem normal. It just seems so off-putting. And then the way she said it, I was like, I knew it. Like, I'm glad you guys had someone to speak about this.
Yeah.
It's very important. They're getting very sneaky with this stuff.
See, you know what you're saying though is you don't have to get into conspiracy or speculation. Just stay with reality. Disney, I reported on how Disney animators were coming out and saying how they've been basically adding programming to the movies and stuff, little gay or queer references in the animation or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They openly have said that. There's Disney executives openly stating that they've been you know, putting queer stuff in the Disney's content for years, and with the express motivation being to, you know, they didn't say brainwash, but, you know, brainwash the children. So it's all open. It's in the it's open, man. It's no conspiracy. It's in the open.
Oh yeah. I remember when my buddy, this was like years ago when like iCarly was like very popular. His kids were watching it one day, and I dropped by to help out and stuff. You know, the barbecue going, and I just turned around to see what they're watching, and then it was like I don't know the episode or anything, but it was like the two girls were fighting over a guy, and the guy was like, oh, like he looked like he was at least 27 in college, and then in the show he was in college. And mind you, these girls, they're like, in the show, I guess they were meant to be 8th, 9th graders. And then I was telling my buddy, I go, dude, that is so weird. Like, why would, like, first of all, that's illegal in real life. And then you're putting it on a Nickelodeon show that it's okay for you to be in 9th, 8th grade and you have a crush on this 27-year-old. And like, it was just so weird. Like, and then I noticed that it all starts very small. And I remember the smaller starts, and then no one makes a big deal out of it. It's like a ripple effect. They're getting away with it. And now, like I said, it is so weird what's going on out there. And just to wrap it up, because I know there's other callers, I don't want to take it up, but one thing that really stood out for me too lately is I remember my buddy and I were having this conversation about how what's his name, Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a famous interview where he said about what's going, basically
famous serial killer, right?
Now. Yeah, he predicted what's going on now. He said, in an interview that, hey man, what, obviously besides his childhood trauma and stuff, but what triggered a lot of stuff was also the fact that he was able to get porn at that time in magazines. It was
really? He talked about that?
It had a big impact on that. Oh yeah, you could find the interview.
Really?
You should be able to find it. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
That's
and he talked
pretty
about
amazing.
how like porn affected, like it pretty much encouraged his craving, right? It made it more and more. And then my buddy, because he was kind of tired of the whole, I don't know, I guess he kind of snapped out of the Christian life.
Okay.
And he was like, well, he got paid for that. A Christian group paid him for that. And I was like, listen.
A Christian group paid Ted Bundy to say that?
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what he said.
Okay.
And then I told him, I go, listen, whether they paid him or not, it's the truth.
Yeah,
and the reason I say that, and I told him the reason I say that is because, thank God that I was balanced. But as a kid, I go, you don't understand. I go, because we both went to junior high together, and I go, you don't understand. When we were kids, we were both in the same grade, but we were looking at women different. You were probably thinking, oh, cooties and stuff like that. I was thinking, man, I can't wait till we're older. I wish I could do what I see my friends like that were older than me from the block do, or stuff like that. That's not normal at an age like that. I go, so can you imagine someone? And luckily I was balanced. My childhood reminds me of, like, have you ever seen that movie Street Fighter? I know people say it's horrible, but I like it. I don't care. But I don't know if you remember Blanca when he's getting programmed. And then the doctor.
I didn't see the movie, but I know who Blanca is. Like, I know what that is.
Okay, well, in the movie, he's getting programmed to be evil, but the doctor switches the programming to good. So now he has a balance of good and evil. He's not fully evil. And so I'm thinking, I can't imagine if my childhood wasn't balanced. Thankfully I had friends to be a kid with. Thankfully, I had decent family enough to be balanced. But point being, I can't imagine somebody like maybe Ted Bundy who didn't have that balance, and he just, went off the rail. And so I remember he and I having this conversation. I go, well, whether or not it's true, whether he got paid to say it or not, it's the truth, man. Like, I truly believe that porn is harming. And then, I mean, thank God nothing happened. But this is after he and I had this conversation. I kid you not, man. About a week later. He tells me, he calls me, he's pretty upset. He's like, bro, you're not gonna believe what happened. I go, well, what's up? He goes, man, my sister was catching a bus to school, and this jerk just kind of like, pressed up against, long story short, harassed her on the bus, whatever. They had to call the cops, all that mess, right?
Wow.
And he and I were having a conversation about what we were having or not, how he said that, oh, it's not a big deal. And then I told him, well, listen, there's a lot of, you don't understand the effect porn has. There's a reason why there's like there's other reasons, but that plays a big role why there's a lot of women out there. They're getting out there prostituting themselves. There's kids, you know, that are out there, you know, putting themselves in the street. I mean, all that stuff is out there, and he'll minimize it. But that's like a sex trafficking. All that's like a 1%. And I'm like, listen, all it takes is one, bro. It's not right. Period. You know. And I go, you gotta be aware of this stuff. And then, mind you, we're having this conversation a week prior. Next thing you know, the following week, his sister could have fallen into that 1%. And it was just kind of like, I didn't want to kick. You know, what do they call it, dirt when someone's down or something like that? I can't really.
When someone what?
But like you know when they say you don't want to kick dirt when someone's down. You know that I forgot that.
Oh, you like kick someone when they're down?
Yeah. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go.
Okay, I got you.
You know, then I'll make it about me.
But why kicking when someone's down is the best time to kick them? They can't do anything.
Savage. No, but I, you know, just to have respect in my mind, I'm just thinking. Do you I was just thinking, like, do you see what happens when like this is not a joke? This is a spiritual battle in your mind, and you know, you might think, oh, it's a 1%. Oh, it's not a big deal. He got paid for that. I go, but do you see the effect? Do you think that guy that was groping your sister? Do you think that he's not addicted to porn? Don't you see that he's
definitely got some kind of sexual degeneracy?
Exactly. It's not.
It's all comes from the same. It's interesting what you're talking about because, I mean, really, when you get down to it spiritually, what's the difference between someone who, I understand that people, they're trying to overcome things they don't think are right, but I'm talking right now. I'm talking about the people who think it's right. What's the difference between a person who's addicted to porn and into it and that groper person in the train that you're talking about? Spiritually, what's the difference?
None at all. No, and that's one thing that I'm being honest with you, man. I'm so glad that, you know, Jesse came into my life because he made me really realize not to judge people. Like, it just made me. I was having a conversation with my brother the other day. I was like, it's funny how a lot of people are out there judging each other, and it's like, and then I gave them an analogy. I was like, can you imagine all the sins, you know, are in a pool party, and then you got the people that lie. Go, man, at least, you know, they go, man, at least I'm a liar, but at least I'm not stealing. And then the stealers go, man, at least, you know, I might be stealing, but at least I'm not a murderer. Then a murder might be, man, at least I'm a murderer, but at least I'm not an R word. And then, you know, the circle, but it's like you guys are all in the same pool, buddy. You know, you guys are all in the same pool.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, I'm
man.
glad that you're touching on this subject. And,
it's
and you
important.
Keep up the good work, man.
Right on.
You too. You guys, much love. May God bless you guys. And, you know, thank you for taking my call, man.
Thanks, Jay. Moving the wheels. Thank you so much. Good stuff. Keeping the lines open. Thanks again, Jay. Take a few more as we wind her down. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I have plenty more show to get to. Okay, super chats here. I have one here from Lin Yan Chin. It says, hold on. How do I freaking open this? Okay, I got a super chat here from Lin Yan Chin saying, Chinese face reading is based on how patterns of emotion etch distinction into our physiology. There is a Western equivalent relating to kinesiology. I think it might be referring to the physiognomy stuff. I was asking, is it true that the face and like the body can represent the inner stuff? From Lizzie Bean, she says, I had to throw $4.99 on it. Thank you, Nick. Bond Network going up. Thank you so much, Lizzie Bean. Appreciate the super chats and the support. It means everything. And from Danimal over on Streamlabs says, nice work, Nick. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that, really. This doesn't make sense, but I appreciate it. And I'm grateful. Okay. Lynn, explain, please. I don't understand. I'm pretty sure that's what he meant. But anyways, okay. So let me see. What else can we get into here? Because, I missed a call. My bad. By all means, call again. I will take your call, 760-515-3855. Let's see here. How much show do I have left for y'all? I'm just reading your chat here. Okay, so. What else do I got? Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to save it for the next one. Because it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit. This other content I have, it doesn't really fit for today's show. So, wow, Steve Strock coming in strong with the support, with the super chat saying, your show is getting better and better each week, man. Amazing stuff. Thank you, Steve. It means a lot. I'm going to keep it going and keep bringing y'all some shows. You may have noticed that I have no videos on my channel right now. I will put that all back up. I'm just being a bit of a tortured artist right now. I want to drop that thumbnail scheme, and I don't want to have all the videos that don't look right up right now. So I'm just being a bit of a tortured artist about it. Nice. Wow. The support is appreciated deeply. Thank you so much. So I'm going to leave some of that content for the next one. But for now, I mean, what can I say, y'all? That's pretty much all the show I got for all of you. Nick, did you happen to mention the Russian flagship getting sunk? Hey, Mr. Mad, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, pretty wild about that. You may have already heard about this, so I may be just harping on something you may have heard about already. But pretty wild. I did mention this a little bit, Mr. Mad. But basically what went down is that this Russian warship, the Moskva, oh yeah, now I remember, I did totally mention this, was sank by Ukraine like a month ago or earlier this month. But recently, just the other day, if not just yesterday, the US claims that their intel was what helped sink this Russian flagship, a very, very expensive, their flagship. And just think about that, man. Think about that. It's an escalation, is what it is. U.S. admitting that they did that? Like, what? You don't want to stop the fight? No, they don't. They don't want to stop the fight. Remember, 2014, U.S. assisted a coup in Kiev. Russia responds. Bunch of stuff happens. What? 2020? We get to 2022, and Russia is saying, they start amassing their forces, saying, we're going to do it. USA says they ain't not going to do it. So they refused to negotiate. USA called their bluff wrong. And it's been an escalation since then. No real honest move to really negotiate. And so this whole sinking of this warship is pretty significant because it's a significant escalation. I mean, this is the U.S. openly admitting to sinking Russian assets. We're in a proxy war. We are, by definition, in a proxy war with Russia. And that's not good. Okay. I was talking about that story and I missed a call. If you want to call back, I will take your call to end off the show here. But what can I say, y'all? That is all the show I got for all of you guys. I'll wait a minute here. I'll wait a minute here in case that caller wanted to call back, but I think we're going to end her off. Just reading your chat. Thanks, Obama. Hey, Omar. Appreciate you joining. I don't think I've seen your name before. Appreciate if you're a new listener. I'll keep them up. Thank you. Yes, Toby, I do have a driver's license. I also have papers. I'm a documented anchor baby in this country. My family abused the immigration laws fair and square. What is this Newgrounds music? Whatever. Just a little D&B to get the vibes rolling. Okay, so everybody. Well, it's been Been a fun one. I hope all of you have enjoyed today's Nickstream. I sure did. But that's it for me. That's all the show I have for all of you. How did you learn to cook, Nick, says Willie Powell. I did it for work. I started as a dishwasher and worked my way up. Learned on the job. Lin Yan Chin with a super chat as we close off the show says, I vote we change from being your knickers to your sparkle blouses. It's not a bad idea, Lin Yan Chin. Press 1 if you want to be a sparkle blouse. I don't know how many people out there want to be a sparkle blouse. Nick winding her down because that forehead's starting to drip. Actually, dry. Maybe greasy, but not sweaty. Amazing stuff. I had a fun show. I hope all of you enjoyed it as well. Friday, enjoy it. Keep it going. It's your weekend. It's your weekend, so enjoy it. We're going to be back for church on Sunday. And it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So that's nice. Shout out mothers. Remember, you got to love and honor your parents, including your mother, right? So tune in on Sunday's church, rebuildingtheman.com/church. What else do I got here? I mean, that's it. Anyways, once more, thank you so much, mon Nickers and Nickerettes. I had a blast. I hope all of you did as well. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on Sunday. Let me go ahead and sign out. Take care.